What's up, YouTube? Salty Medic Travis here. Been to camper doing some work. I installed a sea level 2 tank monitor. So I'm gonna give you a few hints on that. Not gonna go too much into detail. A few pitfalls that I found and how long it's gonna take you. So if you like what you're seeing, give me a thumbs up at least. And maybe hit subscribe. Leave me a comment. Thanks. Propane. Black still says 25. Gray is 0. Fresh at 59. Battery 14.3. Fresh 9. Gray at 25. Black's 97. It's 102 because the sun's hitting it. 14.2. So here's my sea level 2 tank monitor that I installed, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. Here's the other sensors down. There's the fresh water. Now that was really easy to get to for me. So it's almost, you can see there's a little bit of water in the bottom there, right above that pipe. Yeah, not a whole lot. But I installed it, and it took me probably 8 to 10 hours to install it and get it all set up. I had to figure out the wiring. It's really not hard. If you have the little 3-wire, 1/3, 2/3, full type thing that never worked. Mine hadn't worked since the day I bought this thing. They always fail. They don't work. Convenience center. So I ordered the sea level system, and that actually works really good. So what I did is, once I got all installed, I filled my water tank up this morning, filled it up about halfway, said okay. It gave me a good reading, like, yeah, it looks about right. It's still like 60, whatever I put, whatever was in the video. So it's like, okay, so that looks about right. Then I had to go get my propane filled, so I went up to town and got the propane filled. And then once the propane is filled, you can calibrate it to be 100%. So I calibrated, it showed like 83%. But I'm like, nope, it's 100. So I went and looked at my gauge outside, and it was at full, and I calibrated it so it's at 100%. And I was also getting a lot of false readings, but I also have tank heaters, and my tanks are also insulated. So let me show you what to do and what not to do. Okay, so here we are under the RV. All right. There's the sensor. This is my black tank right here. Mine has this foil stuff, and earlier I had it folded over top of this, and I also had the wires were coming across. What that did is it kind of shorted it out, and it was making it read full 100%. So I'm going to cut that foil, and I'm going to do it like this one. Yeah, there's a sensor up there. You can probably see it. Hopefully you can see it. This is rubberized undercoating that the manufacturer says to spray just 2 coats over top of it to protect it. All right, there's one coat. All right, let that dry for 10 minutes. I'll hit it with another one. I also used my gravity dump this time because this one has a macerator pump. In case you've never seen one, that gold cap comes off, and that's where all the waste comes from. I have the automatic drains, and that's the pump, and this is the pump right here, which ties into the black water and gray water, and it just pumps it all through that tube and dumps it out. I made all my connections with these solder stick connectors. They're heat shrink, so they'll shrink up around it, and then in the center it's got a little bit of solder. There's mixed reviews online about it, Facebook, everybody's an expert. I've had decent luck with them, haven't really had any problems. The one thing I did learn about these is once you put the heat gun to it, here I'll show you one. Once you put the heat gun to it, the solder is in like this center part here, and all this is just heat shrink, and it shrinks down, starting to center, and then it'll shrink down. You can see the solder kind of melt into it, and then hit the end, so it tightens up. And just leave it alone and let it cool down. Once it cools down, it makes a really strong bond. I couldn't pull it apart when it cooled down. So yeah, that's what I use to make all my connections with it. All your tank monitors like that, they usually have with the, I think it's Garnet sea level. You have to have one wire going to each sender. So I have 3: gray, black, and fresh, and then there's propane, but that's not these 3 are what I'm talking about. They all have to be on the one wire, so it has one signal wire that goes to all 3. Now up at the control head up here that I took out, I had a bunch of wires, and you can make back at the freshwater I had a red one. So I used the red, and there was a white. So the white I did find was ground. So I used the white as a ground. And in the back, there was a gray and a brown. So I used the gray as signal and brown as ground. So I took the brown and the white, connected them, and connected it to the one control head from sea level. So that was my ground, all the same ground. And then for my signal wire, I took the gray and connected the gray to the black tank signal wire and the black tank signal wire. Ran it up. The fresh was using red, so I connected the red with the gray, and it connected it to the blue signal wire from sea level. So then all those are on the same circuit, because they all have to be, it's a 2-wire system. So you have the ground and a signal wire. And you have to cut the top of it. If it's black or gray, fresh doesn't get cut. You can stack them. And the propane, I had one wire that was coming in that was black. And I said, I looked down at my gauge and I said, well, this one's black. So that I felt, there's 2. So I felt one. I'm like, well, that's a ground. It goes over here to the ground. So the signal wire, I connected that to my propane line, which I think is green from sea level. You have 12-volt power. And that's it. There's only 4 wires on that setup, and it works kind of like a sonar. So when I had the foil covering it, because that's like a foil, like a polystyrene type insulation on the back, that and the wires coming across the sensor. So if the sensor's here, you can't have the wires go across it, because that can interfere with it. So just keep the wires away from it, and you won't have a problem of it reading 100%. Because what it's doing is it's basically grounding it out and saying, hey, I'm full. So make sure that your wires are to the right of it, just like it says in the instructions, Travis. Wires to the side of it. Don't cover it if you have a insulated tank, because mine are insulated, so don't cover it. I just cut it. Get some spray undercoating from your automotive store. They recommend a 3M. I just got whatever, what's that, Harbor Freight had. Spray it on there, and that just keeps it protected. Now mine are kind of up high and kind of out of the way, but water's going to get on there and gravel and stuff, so you want to keep them protected and spray with the undercoating. Do 2 coats, like it said. It looks fine, and now they're both working appropriately. Yeah, so once again, there's a hole behind here. I just pushed the old one out, and then this one just put 4 screws, and there it is. The battery, fresh. There's a little bit of fresh left, which I showed you. The gray is empty. The black is saying 6%. LPG is 100. I think it's saying 6% simply because there's some residual in there. My toilet's right over top my black tank, and I look down there with a flashlight. Yeah, there's I don't want to say a poop pyramid, but there's some stuff in the bottom. So I'm going to get one of those nozzles and clean it out real good next time I go camping. So when I got a dump station there, I can, flush it out real good, get all the residual out of it, and then I'll probably be switching to this. If you don't follow Matt on YouTube, he does all the RV reviews. He was from Maryland, so I've met him quite a few times. But he makes this product now, this Liquify. Everybody, I'm not sponsored. Hey, Matt, you could sponsor me. Maybe give me a free bottle. So, but yeah, I'm going to pour some of this in here, and I'm going to, you know, let that sit. And it really, supposedly does a really good job at breaking down waste and easy dumping, made in the USA. You can now get it at Walmart, Amazon. So we're going to try Matt's Liquify and see how it breaks up that maybe a little poop pyramid I got going on at the bottom. And I'm going to get one of those flush wands and stick it down in there and, you know, flush it all out and clean it out real good. So if you're thinking about getting the sea level gauges, you can definitely get the sea level gauges and put them in yourself. You don't need to have anybody put them in. If you can get to your tanks and you can see them, you have to measure them. If you can measure them and read the directions, you can apply them. I mean, follow the directions are really easy. The only thing I screwed up is that I covered it with my tank insulation. Don't cover them with your tank insulation, and make sure your wires come out to the side so they don't interfere and ground your sensor out. But definitely recommend it. Definitely seems to be very accurate, and highly recommend it. And you can put it in. You can do this. I have faith in you. Hey, thanks for watching. Bye.